In 1903, in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, two brothers had a plan. Wilbur and Orville Wright were not rich. They didn't work for the government, but they wanted to fly. Everyone laughed. Flying is impossible, they said. But the Wright brothers didn't stop. They built a small plane. It looked like a bike with wings. The engine was weak. The body was light. But on December 17, 1903, the plane flew. Just for 12 seconds, just 120 feet, but it changed everything. Now the sky was open. Some called them crazy. Others called them heroes. Newspapers didn't believe the news at first, but photos proved it. America had entered the air and the race had just started. In 1917, America joined World War I. The airplane was no longer just a dream. It became a weapon. Young American men signed up to fly. Most had never even seen a plane before. Now they trained to fight in one. Planes were fast, loud, and dangerous. Pilots flew high, dropped bombs, and battled enemy planes. Many never returned. The U.S. built better planes fast. Speed, strength, and sharp turns were all that mattered. Names like Curtiss and Boeing started to grow. Planes were now part of war. But when the war ended in 1918, something strange happened. Pilots didn't want to stop flying, and that led to the next big move. After World War I, many pilots came home with no job, but they had planes. So, they took to the sky. They became barnstormers. These pilots flew across the U.S., landing in small towns, offering plane rides, and doing air tricks. Crowds cheered as they looped, dipped, and flew upside down. It was risky. Planes broke. Some crashed, but people couldn't look away. For many Americans, it was the first time seeing a plane. Kids dreamed of flying. Towns waited for the sound of engines. One man even walked on the wings midair. Newspapers followed their routes. Fame grew fast. Barnstormers made flying cool. But flying needed more than fun. It needed purpose. And soon that purpose arrived in the form of mail. In the 1920s, the U.S. government made a bold move. They wanted to send mail by air. Roads were slow. Trains took days. Planes could do it faster, but it wasn't easy. There were no radios, no GPS. Pilots flew using maps and hope. Fog, storms, and darkness made it deadly. Many died. Planes crashed in fields and mountains, but mail had to move. New routes were drawn across America. Pilots like Charles Lindbergh risked everything. He flew the night mail from St. Louis to Chicago alone. Cold, silent, but he made it, and that flight changed his life. It also changed American aviation forever. Now, planes had a job, and the public started to believe in the sky. In 1927, Charles Lindbergh made history. He flew solo from New York to Paris. No stops, no help. Just one man, one plane, and 33 hours. The world watched. Newspapers waited. Radios gave updates. When he landed in Paris, the crowd went wild. America had a hero. The spirit of St. Louis became a symbol. Kids learned his name. People lined up to see his plane. Lindbergh proved long-distance flying was real. Now airlines started to think bigger. What if people, not just mail, flew across states, across countries, across oceans? America wasn't just watching the skies now. It was building a future in them. In the 1930s, airlines like United and American started carrying passengers. The planes were slow and shaky, but people were excited. Tickets were expensive. Only the rich flew, but pilots were skilled, and flights were safe. Air hostesses welcomed guests. Suits and hats were common. It felt like luxury. Airports popped up across the U.S. cities, connected like never before. New planes had more seats and better engines, but storms still scared everyone. Pilots trusted their instincts. Radios helped. Flying wasn't perfect, but it was growing. America was in the air and it wasn't coming down. In 1941, World War II pulled America back into the skies. Planes were now faster, bigger, and stronger. Factories across the U.S. built thousands of them. Women worked as mechanics. Men trained as pilots. The air was filled with bombers and fighters. Battles happened high above the ground. Aviation moved fast. Radar was invented. Jets were tested. Helicopters came next. America led the skies. After the war, Soldiers returned with flight experience. Technology was advanced, the military changed aviation forever, and the airlines were about to benefit. In the 1950s, something big happened. Jets replaced propellers. Planes flew higher and faster. The Boeing 707 changed everything. From New York to LA in hours, seats were soft, windows were wide, food was served, people clapped when the plane landed. Flying became normal. America built huge airports, control towers, runways, hangars. It all looked like the future. Flying was no longer just for the rich. Middle-class families booked vacations. Businessmen flew coast to coast. America was in the jet age and loving it. In the 1970s and 80s, flying was booming, but with growth came fear. Hijackings shocked the U.S. airports, added security. Pilots locked cockpit doors. Radar became smarter. Weather warnings helped avoid storms. Flight schools improved. Crashes taught lessons. Every tragedy led to better rules. Black boxes recorded every sound. Air traffic controllers got more training. The sky was busy now, but it was also safer. Aviation wasn't just fast, it was smart. America led the world in air travel safety. Today, American aviation is stronger than ever. Planes are faster, lighter, and smarter. Some fly with no pilot. Others use green fuel. Airports have scanners, robots, and digital gates. Kids fly alone. Seniors feel safe. Packages arrive overnight. From the Wright brothers' first flight to today's jets, the journey was full of risk, hope, and progress. And the sky is still calling. What's next? Space travel, flying taxis, supersonic flights again. One thing is clear: America was born to fly, and the story is still going.